how to build this foundation going forward. And again, that's about studying. It's about learning how to build a proper foundation. And again, if this is towards another person, we just went from reverse into upright. So congratulations, you just transmuted some energy in this reading. Good job. You're learning. That's good. Huh. Justice in reverse, represented by cannabis. And the Lovers upright, represented by hawthorn. Interesting. So we had Justice, I believe, upright. Let me just go through my massive pile of cards here. One moment. I feel like it was here. Where are you? Well, we did have the Lovers in reverse here, that's for sure. I can't seem to find the Justice. That's significant. Maybe you don't feel like you've received your justice, or you don't feel like you can give somebody what they deserve with the Lovers card here, but it is upright. And interesting that it's hawthorn, because in our Beltane reading, which I believe also happened to be part of that Divine Union reading, I have a separate video that I clipped from the beginning, which is the Oracle reading on the hawthorn card from the Herbcrafters Field Guide. I think, no, excuse me, it's the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle. That's right. So if you're interested in learning more about the folklore of hawthorn, definitely check that out. Again, I'll put the playlist at the end of this video. Might be relevant to you. And since we did just pass Beltane, it is a very relevant plant right now for the season, if you're catching this in real time. Or maybe this is part of your justice. This is part of something that you are learning to do in order to become the choice, really. I think that's what this has to do with. You want to feel like you are worthy enough for a divine love. Whether, again, that's with yourself, with spirit, with another person. I am picking up very strongly that this is about what you can offer on a new, passionate beginning. Yeah, I just pulled the Nine of Air, represented by pomegranate, so that's Nine of Swords. Now it's upright again. Interesting, because it's like a new cycle has just begun for you. And this is not a good one. It seems like you are starting to loop again. Pay attention to your thoughts. When you start to loop, ask yourself, how does the feeling feel? How does the thought present? Does it keep coming over and over and over again? Because that's an intrusive, obsessive thought. That's a pattern. You can stop and say, this is a pattern, and focus on your breathing. Maybe meditate, right? Regulate your nervous system. I give some tips in some of my other videos about this, how you can do that. Because it seems like the moment you start to think about it, it's like you just go back on a loop. Now your intuition, it's going to be very quiet. It's going to come in once, and it's going to come in softly, and you're probably going to feel it in your gut or your heart space, so your solar plexus chakra, which is above your belly button, or your heart, you know, in your chest. You're going to feel that. We were going to settle down. For those of you that got what you wanted from this reading, I appreciate you hanging in there. Please give this a like. Check out my other collective readings through my Divine With Me playlist. I think the rest of this reading is going to be for a smaller amount, and it's okay if you check out, I don't know how long this has been going on, this video. So thank you. Please give the video a like or drop a comment. You know, you can just leave like a little star emoji if you liked it. So that helps the algorithm pick up on my work so I can share it with more people. And Spirit really wants to talk because my my voice is speeding up here. All right. So this is for somebody specific or a few people in the community. All right, let's carry on here. If you do want to hang in, I will probably do a reading on one of Cran's archetypes cards. So Nine of Wands and Temperance, yeah. Yeah, this is about balancing out, being patient with yourself, with your wounds, remembering that you have been through a lot and that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't make you a less valuable person because you've been through a lot. You know that, right? Like, everybody deserves love. Well, from a higher perspective, yes. Some would argue with that. That's the people that are not good people don't deserve love. And it's possible you've convinced yourself that if you don't present this certain way, that you're not worthy of love. Which, I mean, if you're around materialistic people, then of course you're going to feel like that. And that's toxic, by the way. In case you didn't know that. That's toxic. Because you can have both. Again, it's like, if you want to master manifesting, you have to weave in the physical with the spiritual. If you don't work with spirit, that's no big deal. I mean, you can just leave it to the universe to align. You get what I'm saying? Wow, there are 4 red hawks flying over the ridge on my land right now. They've been coming in closer lately. It's really cool. Anyways. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Like, you feel like you can't offer anything here. Or that you don't have certain opportunities. That's part of your wounds. Look at that. Like, look at... Four of Swords in reverse. Whoa, that's way too many cards, Spirit. Nope. Yeah, definitely this is about not thinking on it too long, not taking too long, not resting too long. That, again, there's time to heal, and there's time to recover, and there's times to collect your thoughts, and then there's time to act. Again, just because you are busy doesn't mean that you're actually taking action towards your dreams or goals. It just means you're busy. And sometimes we distract ourselves from connections by being fake busy, and that's fine. I mean, you do you. If you want to fill up all your time, really ask yourself if all those things are giving your life value. Because again, with temperance, that's about balance, and that's also about having one foot in the intuition and one foot with the land, right? Yeah, 10 of Pentacles in reverse. You do not feel like you can... Wow, the Sun in reverse. Darling, take a deep breath. Just took one with you. 2 of Earth. So 2 of Pentacles. You're juggling something too much. You're juggling what makes you happy too much. And maybe you don't know what makes you happy. You want to tell somebody about it, though, because we got the 8 of Wands here. If you would like an audio recording of a tarot or oracle reading, I can do that. You don't have to book with me. You can just email me and let me know what you want. However, if you want to see my prices, which I'm going to be upgrading here pretty soon on my booking site, you can go to my services tab. I offer all kinds of things. And right now I think I have a market tarot reading for like $30, and that's like a quick read. So I can give you an audio recording, or we can do a quick one on my business line. So just let me know what you want. I'm taking clients in June, and if you're catching this later, just just reach out or try to book, and I'll get you taken care of. Same for astrology. I've been studying for over 25 years independently. I do evolutionary, natal, and electional right now, but I focus more on natal. So I felt like somebody could use a private reading because this is starting to feel like one. So I'm not gonna get into this too deeply. But yeah, 8 of Wands is about something moving really, really fast. Maybe you feel like you have to do something, you have to communicate something really fast, but you can't figure out what it is, and that's making you not feel happy and not making you feel secure. Mother of Cups in reverse, and actually want to just shut down on love completely. Seems that you don't want to open your heart to love now. Hermit in reverse, but Spirit's telling you to get out of your cave, get out of your own way, get out of your head. Yeah, 10 of 10 of Swords. And this one has a big old scythe that's hanging over an alfalfa depiction, and the artwork on these cards are absolutely beautiful, by the way. So yeah, it's about like an ending. It's about ending this like this cycle. Yeah, and these burdens that you're putting on yourself with the 10 of Wands again. With Death. Yeah, this is about a change. The Wheel of Fortune. It's a karmic change. Now we have the Wheel of Fortune twice out here. Same with the 10 of Wands. So this is really about learning what is your burden to carry and what is not. And 2 of Swords, or 2 of Air. So trusting your intuition, right? Being able to make a choice. The Moon. Using your intuition. It seems like you've used your intuition in the past, and I did read that as a like you've come out of it, like you're ready to reveal something. You have the capability of great love and understanding and empathy here. Yeah, and you can go to calmer pastures, or excuse me, calmer waters. You're on this like transition to peace with the 6 of Air, 6 of Swords, right? You're figuring out how to do it. Maybe set some intentions. This particular depiction, which I might show in the pinned image, it's a table, and it's got cattail as the herb, and there looks like many drafts of a letter. So maybe you need to write something down, write an intention. If you don't know how to write an intention, drop a comment, I'll give you a tip, or you can YouTube it. It's pretty much just like stating what you want, right? It could also be about communicating something to somebody because of the 8 of Wands. And then we got the 7 of Earth in reverse, so investing. Maybe you could also journal about what are things that you no longer want to invest in, and maybe that'll help you stop juggling things so hard and be able to make a choice, right? Or where you need to stop investing in for happiness. And then we just pulled the Hierophant card again. And this is about some kind of higher commitment for you. And again, if it's not with a person, it could be with your faith, it could be with spirit, it could be with different aspects of yourself, or how you fit in with society. Because again, Hierophants can also represent like authority figures, right? Not quite like the Emperor, which is the ultimate authority of your own domain, but like a spiritual authority in a way. Three of Pentacles in reverse again. Seems like you still don't want to collaborate, though, to build something. But now Strength is upright, so we just pulled Strength card again. And the King of Wands again. So you've got the fire, you got the passion, and you got the light, right? We mentioned the light earlier. You're totally capable of making this change. You just got to stop holding on so tight with the 4 of Pentacles. You know, you gotta stop being so possessive of things, because again, if you want to truly manifest something, you have to let it go and trust that your manifestations are going to work. And part of that has to do with getting out of your head, right? Being able to balance your thoughts, which help you balance your emotions, tap into what makes you feel unconditional love, what makes you feel creative. Yeah, and what ways can you love yourself? Because now we got the Ace of Cups in reverse. And this is about either like a big love offer or spirit offering like a person to you that's going to be great love, or it's self-love, or it's a huge creative endeavor that's like a big deal. It's a blessing. But if you can't even tap into that because you don't feel like you can give equal give and take with the Six of Pentacles again, um, then it has to do with yourself, with how you give to yourself, really. Like, do you give yourself equal give and take? Because if you don't have balance and you don't have a set way of showing love to yourself, then no, you can't give to other people. And if you think, and I don't mean to be rude, but I did try to say I'm direct, if you don't know how to give to yourself, how are you going to give to others? And I'm sure you've heard that and it pisses you off to hear it even. I'm picking up on that energy. Then it's good. Then let it get under your skin. But instead of fighting it or making a choice to stay in these cycles and not face these mental conflicts, you will continue the cycle. Yeah, and stay stuck in your head with the Eight of Swords. You don't have to live that way. Ten of Cups in reverse. You don't feel like you deserve happiness. I think that's what it comes down to is, I feel like you've attached your worth to the material too much. Yeah, this has caused you to walk away from people and love in the past. Eight of Cups. You know, and it's possible somebody you loved from your childhood. We remember earlier we had the Six of Cups as one of the first cards coming out, and that is childhood love. It's possible that, yeah, you need to heal from that with the Star. You need to shine light on how possibly you may have attached your worth to material things in the past, possibly having to do with another person. Again, we talk about not being so possessive. That also means letting go of old memories and wounds and choosing to heal with the Star card. And then we pull the Adelita of Water, which is the Knight of Cups. So earlier we had the Knight of Cups in reverse. So that's progress. You just transmuted that. Maybe you feel like maybe now you're starting to understand it. I would rewatch this reading, and I'm not just saying that to get more likes or hits, but if you need to rewatch this reading, re-listen, whatever, and maybe you'll catch something the second time around. I do that. I listen to my own readings because when I'm channeling, it's like I'm here but I'm not. You know what I mean? Other readers will explain that. Yeah, okay, so Three of Wands just came out now. So you're waiting for your ships to come in. Stop waiting. They're coming. If you've set some intentions and you remember, if you continue day in and day out to keep like trying to work something to death, you're going to continue doing that. Again, whatever you do today is what you're going to be doing more of tomorrow. If you continue to exist in this hustle culture, so to speak, where you're constantly chasing after money or work because of some sense of security you feel like you need in order to love, even yourself, based on possible childhood, your friend circles, your disconnect with the spiritual, if you're able to integrate all this stuff, you can access that. You have the ability to manifest here. Also, remember, we had the Magician earlier, right? So, and bottom of the this is personal wish fulfillment with the Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So that's hidden. This is wish fulfillment. And tell me a little bit more about these wishes, Spirit. Wow, the Chariot. You want to move really fast towards something. I'm not going to take that one. You want to move really fast towards something. You want to bring your whole life. Three of Cups in reverse. But you don't feel like celebrating. Or you've put an end to other people being involved in your emotional decisions. Yeah, Seven of Cups. You've been really stuck in all these options and choices and But the thing is you also have a lot of things to work with here. And again, cups are water, so it's like, what ingredients do you want to focus on that are going to create love, right? Yeah, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Now that's interesting because we had the Queen of Pentacles upright earlier. And again, remember, all this leads to the Empress. If you're able to balance your divine, masculine, and feminine energies, right? And not get stuck in neutral position. Huh. Okay, so it's possible you had a Tower moment because of a Queen of Pentacles type person. Because next to this Queen of Pentacles in reverse with the Tower in reverse, you got a second Tower here. Tell me more about this, Spirit. High of Earth, so that's Page of Pentacles. Again, that slow moving learning energy about how to work on something new. Maybe you felt like you had to start over with your security because of whatever this person or situation was. Yeah, Six of Wands in reverse. Something did not make you feel very victorious. I don't want to go into this energy too much because honestly it feels toxic. It does feel like a person. It feels like a very materialistic person who didn't value you or themselves, quite frankly. Yeah, because I just got the Queen of Swords in reverse. Also a very vindictive, mentally unkind person who possibly manipulated you a lot. Yeah, and now we have the fourth ace on here. We have the Ace of Swords, but it's in reverse. So they made you not understand your own truth. It's possible they gaslit you, especially with the intellectual connection with the heirs. And Hangman, this is a new perspective. And it came out upright, but as I put it on the table, it flipped upside down. So you just had a new epiphany about somebody in your life. And maybe how they made you think about your worth. And maybe how they may have messed with your head and made you value the wrong things. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, made you not want to work on things. Maybe they made you feel like you couldn't work on things, like you couldn't be successful. This could be a parent figure for some. Maybe they made you very codependent on them and attached your worth to things you could do for them in order to make them happy. And that gave you a distorted sense of how you can make others happy. And if you're always constantly trying to strive towards making other people happy through your security, yeah, be careful with that, because despite your intentions, you could have a tendency of trying to buy other people's love, and that's not for everybody. And please don't get mad at me again. I'm very direct. Yeah, the awakening, Judgment in reverse. You feel judged. I get it. I get it. I do. I hear you. You think I don't hear things? Yeah, the Fool in reverse. You do not want to go down this road. So I'm going to respect that, and I'm not going to dive any deeper to that, but I think you have plenty to think about. And I think you're coming out of an awakening. You're coming out of a spiritual journey. You're learning a lot of things. And it's about integrating, again, the spiritual with the physical. It's about balancing the masculine with the feminine. And it's about, you know, continuing to figure out what makes you happy, how possibly your childhood wounds have affected your ability to earn in your mind and be successful in this world. Maybe, and the intentions right, how you want to be successful. What does success mean to you? And wow, I just pulled the Emperor card. So like, it really is about claiming your own authority for real. Because the Hierophant and the Emperor, we were talking about earlier, how the Emperor is like, you know, you're in control of your own domain. You also delegate to other people. The emperors aren't running around in hustle culture. No, they leave that for the knights. So if you want to assume this emperor status and also be in the energy of the empress, which yet again, divine union with self, divine union with masculine and feminine energies, then you have to be willing to work with others. And again, we got Three of Pentacles in reverse twice in this reading, so that tells me that you don't really want to work with others. You just want to focus on yourself, and you want to figure out how to establish. Maybe this awakening you've had has, whoa, 5 cards just came out. We're not going to take those. Maybe this awakening has helped you figure out how you feel like you have authority in your own life. Adelita of Fire, Knight of Wands. Passionately going towards something very quickly. Haya of Waters, so Page of Cups in reverse. But be careful with your emotions. Again, be careful about going very quickly towards something. Again, if you want to be the Emperor, which is also fire, Aries energy, which is above a Knight of Wands, you need to learn how to delegate with others. So not putting everything on your plate to where you feel depleted because you're chasing material things. Again, that could have to do with who you associate with and your social circle. Maybe the kind of work you pursue. Maybe there's something else that fills your cup. This could also be about your sense of creativity and joy, again with the Empress correspondences. So it's possible whatever work you've been doing has been for others, not yourself. And it's depleted you. And it's been a hard journey. And I just want to say, I acknowledge your hard work. I know that it's hard to receive criticism and it's hard to look at the shadow. But you know, that's why we go to the tarot, isn't it? To go inward. And again, we got the moon here and we had the moon in reverse to start out and then the moon upright. So this has given you some intuitive hits. This has given you something to seek in the dark. Just remember to not get lost in the dark. And again, that comes down to understanding your thoughts. This is a lot. This is a lot for you to process. I think I'm going to leave that there. If you would like to hang in for the Archetypes Oracle card, which I still feel called to pull. Actually, hold on a sec. I'm being drawn to the timing cards, and you know, I don't work with these a lot because a lot of people use timing cards for like romance and stuff, and it's possible this could have to do with romance. Let me see, what question should we ask Spirit about timing? I'm feeling drawn to it though. Okay, how about this? How about if you're able to balance all these factors and really do the work and focus on and establish this within yourself, when will things start picking up for you in a more positive way where you feel confident and secure enough within yourself to move forward towards true love or union with yourself or spirit or another, or some creative project that really makes you happy? And feeling mentally balanced with the ability to express your emotions, remember? Within a year, it says. Within a year. I'm feeling some stress about that for some reason, because you know the Knight of Wands came out, so it's like maybe you want to take action now. Maybe you want to take action now. You don't want to wait. I mean, the Chariot card did come out. So, in November, okay, so they just gave you a second timeline. Remember, timelines are flexible. Timelines, time is happening all at once in all realities. I do work with multiple timelines. And also remember that if you attach to something, you try to like hold on to something too tightly, you're not going to have as much success manifesting it into your life, or it might not manifest how you want it to. So this is May. That's about 6 months. So it could take 6 months to a year to fully integrate these changes. And again, if you're not watching this in May, or you're not, whatever time, it's within 6 months to a year, you can have this. And you might go, well, that's a long time. And sure, Just remember not to put too much work on your plate to where you're feeling overwhelmed and defeated and you don't want to do the work anymore, because then you don't have anything to offer other people if you are burnt out all the time. It has to do with your value and worth, yet again. And, you know, I don't know how old everybody is, but I can tell you that the older you get, the quicker time seems to go by, right? When you're a kid and you're in school, it's like the longest ever. Every day is torturous, and it just goes on. And oh, when do I just get to go home and just do my own thing? And then when you're like middle-aged, you're like, wow, it's Tuesday already? What the heck? It was just like Monday last week. How did it suddenly be like 8 days? You know what I mean? And it's because we tend to overload our schedules, especially in American culture. If you're watching from there, listening, whatever. Yeah, hey, you know, if you're still hanging in there, drop in the comments where you're from. I'd love to know where you're from. And again, hit the like or subscribe. Anyways, yeah, so like 6 months to a year is really not that long. Now, if you are trying to work on a particular goal for a person, because we did get a lot of like union references and soulmate love references, what I would suggest, if you want to hear my advice, if you don't, then just disregard it and we'll skip to the oracle in a second. There's a lot of emphasis here on balancing your thoughts in order to understand your emotions. So if you're doing, I would make that your first priority. And again, journaling can help. We got a lot of writing influence here. In order to head towards peace, you need to understand your thoughts, I think. And if you are able and willing to access therapy, I would suggest cognitive behavioral therapy for this. If you're looking to work on behavior, focus on DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, and that can be done in groups. That can also teach you how to work with others. Now, if you're in the States, most counties have these programs for free. Sometimes they even have day programs. Again, I'm an advocate, so I'm going to share information. If you don't want to utilize therapy, that's fine. Look into mindfulness, work on your meditation, find some good self-help books. Let me see. I'm reading, I took a break from it, but The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest, however you say her name. That's a really good one about self-sabotage. I would definitely recommend that book. Okay? So if you really dedicate yourself to slowing down and paying attention to these things, you can actually speed up your progress. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it will eventually with another tower moment. Sorry, that was kind of mean. That was meant for somebody, but it's true. Like if you don't work on the self-sabotaging behavior, and again, some people really struggle with this, but the universe will arrange things to make you focus on things if you refuse, and you can go back to your old habit and you can decide to stay in these cycles. But if you really want to be your own authority, both spiritually and materialistically, if you want to be an integrated whole person and you ultimately do want to give your cup to something, whether that's another person or the vision of your life, whatever is your 10 of cups, because remember, we did pull the 10 of cups earlier. You have the potential for having everything here. And you got to be willing to do the work. And again, it's like we go back to the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and we won't dive into that energy of that person, whoever that Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords in reverse character is. I don't usually read signs, but that could represent, you know, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. And again, it's usually the top 5 personal planets that you want to look at in your chart, and each different planet represents a different expression of energy, so it's going to represent differently. It's good to not just look at your sun sign, but also your rising sign, your moon sign, your Mercury, your Venus, and your Mars, okay? And if you want to understand all that, I'd be happy to give you a reading. I do more of my astrology readings on the phone versus audio because they're more interactive than a tarot reading. And eventually I will be doing videos, but I'm just like working with the tech I have right now. So bear with me, okay? Okay, so we pulled the Flame card. It's interesting because we got this card, actually it was last month for the April Astro highlights. Yeah, this was the collective energy for the April reading. And I did a separate clip of just the oracle reading on the flames. So check that out in the playlist. It should be in my Divine with Me. I think maybe going back over the message for April might help you. Yeah, because this is, so it's, there's a lot of emphasis on the root sacral solar chakras. So grounding, sense of security, your confidence, really, again, looking at those earthly things. But it's very dense energy, and again, this plane of existence is very dense, and it can weigh you down. In the background, it's just like these speckled dots and shadows, and it's grainy. It's almost got like this vintage energy, kind of like static almost. There's a lot of static in the background for you right now. And remember, you are the flame. You are the passion. You are the hot new beginning. You are very confident also. You got the King of Wands twice. So like, you've worked on your confidence. So it's not that you're insecure about who you are. It's more about, I think, how you earn and how you show up in the world and how you want to provide for others. So find out what inspires you. And again, look at this reading. This reading from April, you know, perhaps I'll link it at the end or leave it in the description box or pin it. I'm not sure. I might not though. So yeah, just check out the playlist. I feel like this reading has been really long, as they usually are, because this is a tarot quest. I'm not going to link this to any of my prior readings except possibly, I'd say, the Divine Union. Actually, that's what I'm going to put at the end of this video. So I feel like for some of you this is about love, and this is about finding your sense of security and being able to offer your cup of love to somebody. And it's also about who you associate with, how those people mirror people from your childhood, and really figuring out what makes you feel valuable and what your values are. Another thing in astrology to look at is your second house. Okay, so your second house is the house of values. Another thing to look at is where your Taurus placements are, right? Because Taurus also rules the second house and values. So it's possible there is a Taurus placement in your chart that can help you understand more how you deal with the material world, how you build sustainability, and possibly where some of your wounds are, because we have the Wounded Warrior here twice, I believe. I think that is a good place to leave it. If I go on much longer, this will be a whole movie. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for checking in. Again, if you'd like to check out my super intense audio documentary that I dropped, it's a true life story, and if you don't want to hear about it, that's fine. Thank you very much. Catch you next time. But I've been through some profound transformations myself, and I've had to be brave, and I've had to stabilize my thoughts and figure out what makes me happy, and I had to let go of the lack mindset in order to be in the energy of abundance, right? So I've done all the work that I'm asking you to do. This is not something that I'm judging you with, because you're not being judged at all. If you feel judged, it's possible that you are either picking up on the projections of other people or you're reliving childhood memories of where you felt judged. And again, cognitive behavioral therapy is really great at going through the past with a medical professional who can help validate your experience, and it can maybe help you understand how these dynamics and family systems can affect you as an adult and how to work with them. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful week. I'd say, since this is a week reading, again, you can extend this past a week. You can, I mean, the timeline here was